Welcome to Snowman Films Presents The Unfinished Degree, a podcast for the creative entrepreneur. I am your host, Evan Fries, sitting down with Noah Mittman.
Hola.
And our producer, Taylor Oxley.
Hello.
Today's episode, we sat down with Brian Taylor. He's an author and all-around maniac. We like him.
We love him.
He's my boy.
He's a maniac in the best.
He's like a Renaissance man. He does a little bit of everything.
He's a creative maniac, meaning
Creative
that he
maniac.
just has more creativity than he knows what to do
and
with.
more drive than he knows what to do with.
Yeah.
Dude is driven and awesome and talented.
I think like the drive that didn't enter me in this like cosmic force went to him.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm just
He has
this.
all of the energy that you feel that you're lacking in your life. Brian picked up and is doing stuff with.
yeah.
So true.
So, we sat down. We recorded this episode a few months back. It was the first one that we did. Noah and I went over to Brian's house, sat in his basement, and didn't have to use my fun little setup that I've been toting around everywhere. We got to use his legit audio studio where he produces his own podcast, audiobooks, all that fun stuff. At the time of recording, it was called 12 Blackened Petals.
It is now called The Most Amazing Story Ever.
And it is pretty damn good. It is pretty damn amazing.
Absolutely.
So we talk a lot about that. We get into kind of just what it is to be a creative entrepreneur or someone who's just putting a lot of themselves out there. We had a really good chat. His daughter was hanging out for a little while. It was adorable. It was our first attempt, so you'll kind of hear us, you'll hear me especially try to start stumbling through some kind of outline thing before kind of just letting the conversations run wild.
Brian actually does a nice thing where he's had a lot of podcast experience and obviously producing audio stuff, so he was able to kind of help us along with our first one and kind of lead and guide a little bit, which we really appreciated. I know I did.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes, thank you, Brian.
You're awesome. Thank you for letting us take our maiden voyage on you.
Yeah.
And,
Did you break a champagne bottle over his head?
That's why he hasn't returned my calls. Oh, man. We had a really nice chat, and we got in some really good stuff about how I'm never going to own a home, and
Probably never be able to retire.
yep, it's going to be great. Real optimistic shit.
And what it takes to be a creative and to keep going with what you're doing, and the belief in the kind of process that it really that goes into creating something right out of your head.
Yeah. So without further ado, unless Taylor, you want...
This week's drinking game.
Oh, yes, I
Right.
forgot. So on the very first episode here, we're going to establish if you would like to make this an interactive podcast.
Interactive podcast.
We will
This-
establish
yes.
rules.
This week, the word... We only need one word this week.
Meta.
To be honest. The
Meta.
word is meta.
Don't
Yes.
actually
Yes.
don't die.
Yeah, Snowman Films and Self-Esteem Train Limited are not responsible for any damages or personal loss caused by the listening
Use
to
your
this
better
podcast.
judgment. But if you'd like to play along, meta is the word.
Yes, the word is it's like a drunk Mr. Rogers thing. Or no, is it? No, Pee-wee's Playhouse when the secret word is said. Yeah.
Perfect.
You don't know what that is,
Nope.
Taylor.
Enjoy.
No idea.
All right. So, yes, without further ado, this is episode 1 of Snowman Films Presents The Unfinished Degree, featuring Brian Taylor.
Podcast, yeah.
Well, depending on when I decide to fade this all in, these two are just talking about buying homes, and those are all things that,
And then we just cut it after that.
yeah, I don't understand that. I am what some would call a functioning piece of shit.
So this is
We're called adults.
For those of you who are not familiar, my name is Evan Fries, and I am the lowest rung on the Snowman totem pole. This is Noah Mittman, and he is the head honcho over at Snowman. And this is Brian Taylor, a man I have just met for the first time.
I'm not affiliated with Snowman Films.
No.
Here's the thing. We're gonna jump right into a story here because so we chose Brian for our first guest on this show because
He was available.
He was available, and there was a very significant moment in Snowman Films history with Brian, and that was basically the genesis of the possibility of doing this professionally. We were on a shoot. We'll link this in the show notes. We were on a shoot for one of Brian's videos called Something Different.
Oh, shit.
And
Really?
Yep. And I remember you said to me back then I was a hobby parkour filmmaker. I was like having fun doing the Friends thing.
It's not fun anymore.
Brian goes, you're good enough to do this professionally, right? And I go, oh, really? And here we are. That was literally like the start of this. So thank you so much.
Oh yeah, no problem. But so for those of you that are wondering, never listen to my advice.
Because look at, he's now dragged in multiple people.
You'll be broke
in this
for a
dovetail.
real long time. And you need to find a woman that or a man that supports you and understands it, because I went through a couple that didn't. And now I have an amazing wife that does understand it, which is amazing. But
Trial by fire.
yeah,
Trial by fire.
exactly.
Yes.
But no,
That's-
it's the influence has grown, and he says he's the lowest totem pole, but he brought the podcast to the table. So there is no, everybody's a creator. Everybody's a creator at the company.
Yeah, I guess that should be the. I mean, this is gonna be great. So I get to just be the backseat driver now. Technically, I'm like the host, but I'm gonna let him take it because you guys have the rapport. I'm one of those people that believes in like first draft, final draft. I never do the research. I don't know who the fuck you are.
If I were you, I'd be careful because you might be the one getting interviewed here.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, my therapist.
Because Brian does have podcast experience.
I did see my therapist
Probably
today.
more than us, actually.
To date, I've produced 200 episodes of audio that last at the barest minimum 15 minutes.
Cool. I got about 25.
So you have
We got this.
200% more than 200 times more experience than I do.
It's not
at
about
this.
experience,
Yeah.
man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
It's about
you,
size.
Yeah.
It's always about size.
Girth. It's about
No
girth.
matter what they tell you,
Yeah.
it's always about size.
The girth of his podcast resume.
Well, we're
is
doing
impressive.
long form. This is the biggest. See, you talk 15 minutes. We're going like hour and a half.
Oh,
You
yeah,
just said
it's
I'm not
huge.
talking long form. I'm talking round form. That's what I'm talking, Noah.
Oh my god.
This is your-
Oh shit. Well, I guess.
Oh, well, are we going to go in a direction?
no,
yes,
this is
yes,
it.
We
This
have
is
a whole
the show.
exactly.
This is it?
Just talking about
No,
dicks.
Yeah, talking about dicks. Hi, that's my MO. I've got so many dick tattoos. It's not even funny. So I think we covered a little bit at the beginning. You know, me, self-explanatory. Noah, Snowman. Brian, tell us a little bit about yourself. Just kind of.
That's a big question.
It's a big question. Tell us just
Like
a
girthy,
little.
like girthy.
Yeah.
Girthy.
Like
You want the summary or do you want the whole log?
I want like, is it a Pringles can? Yes or no?
The answer's no,
Okay. Then I'm not interested in the rest. I'm what they call a podcast size queen.
because it's bigger than the Pringles can.
Oh, fuck city. That's
Okay,
amazing.
Let me give you the quick rundown on me.
This is the origin story of Brian
Yeah,
Taylor.
the origin
right here.
story. I'm going to condense it really, really short. So before we get started, I am writing an autobiography / gospel. We're 4 chapters in. It's bad as fuck. I'll have Noah and
We'll link it.
We'll get it done. We'll get it done.
Link it in the show notes.
Yes.
He
So
keeps saying show notes like that's a thing.
I know. It's just what I've heard.
okay. So I'm a dumb white kid from Alabama. I moved out to Colorado about pushing on 17 years ago. Came out here to go to school for motion graphics. Basically gave those guys the finger, and now I did some parkour stuff for a little while, and then now I am it's so hard to summarize.
See, it's funny because like a little while is like 15 years.
16.
16. There you go.
And then yeah, so now basically the short and sweet of it is my day job, my 9 to 5er. I do video, motion graphics, 3D animation, mostly video. I shoot with like really big boy cameras.
Very, very expensive cameras.
Very, very expensive. And I shoot very,
Like-
very expensive things.
You can buy a house with those cameras.
No, you can't buy a house with the cameras, but you can definitely make a down payment.
Yeah.
Again, words I do not know.
Yes.
Down
Okay.
payment.
And then my side gigs are I do art, and I do some pretty badass art, and I write books.
Hell yeah.
As a creator, he's one of the most creative guys I know.
I was going to say a bit of a renaissance man. You do a little bit of everything.
I do a lot of everything.
Like, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I wasn't trying to be reductive.
Yes, remember we were talking about the Pringles
hustle's
can,
real.
I'm like tree trunks.
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. That's a big old,
Whole
yeah,
lot,
fuck
whole
me.
lot. Fuck you, right?
Yeah.
But no, I've been in the art game and I've been in the computer and video game since. Here's an example: Photoshop is on CC 2019. I started on Photoshop 3.
I've been to Coors Field. The graphic for Shane Company on the big thing. Did you make that?
Depends on which year you go. Depends on which part of the season you go in.
So
there's
the answer is yes.
So yes, there's 2 of us that do that, and we juggle it back and forth because we all hate doing it. Both of us hate doing
sure.
it. And so I'm like, I got it this time, and then he's like, I got it this time, and I got this because it's a fucking nightmare. You would think that it would be pretty simple. You're like, oh, we're gonna put it up there. These are dimensions. Make the graphic.
Right.
But it's a fucking nightmare because you got to please. I say this in kindness in case anyone I ever work with hears this.
He loves you all.
going
I love
nowhere.
you all. But when you work in a corporate day job, even if you're doing video creative shit, you still have to run everything through like 15 bosses.
Right.
And all of those 15 bosses have like different input. And so when you make your initial video, you can expect it to go through like 40 different revisions before it gets to the stadium.
Oh man.
Before it gets to the stadium. So the answer is yes, I have done Coors Field on a number of occasions. I do not know exactly which one you saw. That might have been my partner, but it might have been mine.
So just for any Denver people listening, the next time you go to Coors Field, when there is a spinning graphic for Shenko, just think in your mind, Brian Taylor, the guy we're talking to right now, created that. There you get the associated coolness of that.
I mean, he thinks I'm cool. It's really been like an illusion. Like a front, like a mask I'm wearing.
Right.
Yeah, I put on my cool mask. I'm like, shit, no.
Cool mask.
I'm going to say 40 minutes into knowing you, I think you're pretty cool so far. So let's see. We got more time.
I'm all right for a tall white guy.
Yeah. It's all right. Neck tattoos, whatever. Why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because if I don't, I'll explode and go crazy.
Yeah.
And that you'll hear that from almost every creator.
So you are a white guy.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But the truth of it all is my concept of what life and God is about has changed dramatically from that's not true, that's bullshit, to what everyone else believes is bullshit. And now it is what everyone else believes is bullshit. Here's my idea. And my basic idea is this. You are how the universe experiences itself. And it is through these experiences that we keep growing. Once the universe has learned everything it needs to learn from us, it'll send an asteroid or a disease or some shit like that. We're all wiped out, right?
Soon.
But
Soon.
in my 42 years on this planet, here's what I have learned. When you deviate off of the path that you are supposed to be on, when you don't do what it is you're here to do, the universe will come up and it will smack you the fuck down. And then if you don't get back on the path, the universe will say, okay, time for somebody else to do it because I need that experience. And guess what? You're gone.
Yeah.
Because to the universe, you're a fucking speck on a speck on a speck on a speck floating on a blue speck on some forgotten fucking corner of some galaxy, right? So I do that because it's my purpose, right? And I don't say it's my purpose. It's what God put me here for. That's not where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I just truly believe that everyone is given a set of skills, and that is why we are naturally inclined to do things better than other people.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so that's why I do it. And I'm trying not to have to work for the man 9 to 5.
Dude, preach.
I seriously feel that so much. Like when, for me at least, with the Snowman Films journey, even through startup, through whatever, yes, there were some broke times, but no matter what I needed to happen, even if it was down to the last hour before rent was due or something, it always came through because I know that I'm doing what I need to be, what I'm supposed to be doing on this earth. Now, the flip side of that, I've seen friends, I've seen family members deviate from that path and bad shit starts happening to them. It's crazy when like you just have that friend that like something bad, they're always complaining, always some crazy catastrophe in their life.
He is talking about me right now.
No, man. Seriously though, I like when there's always drama and there's always like, oh God, car wreck, oh God, kid sick, oh God, blah, 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 blah. It just keeps coming. And not kid stuff, but like with your own life,
yeah, no.
I really, really feel like it's because you are not listening to what you are supposed to be doing. Because if you're not courageous enough, or you can't take that dive, the universe talks, and if you don't listen, it'll fuck with you.
Yeah, I'm absolutely writing a book about that right now. But anyway, yeah, I would just like to say that it's awesome that at such a young age, and I know you're coming up on 30, but
I believe this for a long time.
Yeah. At such a young age, you figured that out, and a lot of people don't figure that out. A lot of people need 20s and 30s to figure out what the fuck their purpose is.
Right.
But that's when you see those old white haired dudes rolling up next to you in the convertible Porsche, and they're like, wah, 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 and they got like the hot. They figured out what they're supposed to be doing,
And it's driving that convertible fucking Porsche.
Exactly, but. Take somebody like Bezos, right? Jeff Bezos, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there are a lot of people that will say, oh, it's corporate evil, death, whatever. He's doing what the fuck he's supposed to be doing, and the universe has seen to it that he is rewarded and is capable of continuing to do.
Yeah.
But the instant the universe has either A, decided you are not doing what you're supposed to do, and there's no way you're going back on track, or the instant the universe has decided you have accomplished that task, that's when shit like pianos fall out of the sky and land on you. That's when like there's those fluke accidents. He got a brain-eating amoeba from drinking a beer that he bought from a 7-Eleven that was
Super
put
interesting.
you know, like it's those crazy ways that it comes and takes you out. But you wonder, okay, well, what about these people that are living till they're 90 and they just croak, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe it was the entirety of their life experience that they were supposed to return it to the universe, right? Of course, I could be all wrong and we could be here for fucking nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
You know, who knows? I mean, I'm just shooting in the dark here.
Yeah.
really, that all the landmark peeps, life is empty and meaningless and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But
no, I was gonna say, like, you know, Noah's incredibly optimistic. He keeps me grounded in the fucking sky wherever the optimistic people live, and that's an incredibly healthy way of looking at things the way that you've got it. Because right now, I just like to preach life's a fucking nightmare. But
here's the thing: like you came, it was again talk destiny, talk whatever. At the time that we reconnected, I was at the point where I needed help on set. I needed a production assistant for the company,
and I work for cheap.
and well, it's just I needed, and we've been able to accomplish stuff with clients now because you're there that we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. And so even this podcast, here's some. Well, it's a drinking game of how many times I say meta, right? Very meta thing right here is I was moving out of my office in Golden because I figured out that I never used it, and I was like, I need to get all this stuff out tonight. I call up Evan to help me. Hey, can you come help? And he's like, sure, why not? We get to talking, podcast comes up, now we're here. Like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah. And
So the drinking game is meta?
anytime he says meta,
We're gonna get you guys wasted.
What's the word meta?
meta,
Is it meta?
Is it meta?
and you're drunk. It's meta anytime I talk about Star Wars or anytime I self-deprecate or anytime the guest just leaves.
Just walk
I know
out.
it's your house,
Fuck
but
this.
All right, guys, I'm going to bed. Y'all stay up.
yeah, we're in Brian's basement now. But yeah, so
Listen to that stuff. Listen to that energy, that thing that's that internal voice that's like what, you have an answer as to when you ask yourself, what am I supposed to do? It may not be an easy answer. It may not be a, well, shit, that is going to make money, or that's going to be like whatever's fun, whatever that back of your mind project or thing is. Listen to that and just act on it. Go.
yeah. Right. And that's what I've been trying to do. Because forever that voice was just being like, fuck it, dude. And now it's just kind of like, no, keep going forward, because if you don't, you'll die. And so that's what I'm doing. And it feels a lot better. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, when you're young, you're supposed to say fuck it, though. I mean, that's what it's all about. Like,
Yeah. No. Just, yeah.
Because trust me, in about 10 years, there's not going to be any more fuck it left in you.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll see.
I'm at dangerous levels of fuck it with having a family right now. Yeah. Like it's working, but
Lexi,
I'm not
run.
afraid to say
Run,
fuck
Lexi.
it with taking
the
on
kids and go.
taking on projects. Like I'm the way that great line from The Greatest Showman of like taking risks. It's like, oh, that's a big risk. Yeah, how do you think I got here? Yeah. Like if you're not afraid to take risks, if you're real comfortable with failure because you know that at least you tried something, you're going to move forward in life.
I would like to add a caveat to that. I think that meta.
Now I feel like Joe Rogan. That's crazy, man. Have you ever tried DMT? Like,
but no, I got to say there's a flip side to that, right? So risk and reward. Risk is important.
Right.
You have to take risks, but risks doesn't always mean quitting your job, giving your boss the finger, and chasing after some dream in Maui.
100%.
it means making the hard choices.
Well, no, not even that.
And getting chlamydia.
Meta. So seriously, okay. So take my risk factor.
Right.
My risk factor is completely different. Okay, so I got a little girl, and we got this really, really, really financially sucking. Don't buy a house in Colorado.
I thought he was going to say
I
rat
love
house.
the state so much.
No, I love the state, and that's why I bought a house in Colorado.
Exactly.
But anyway, yeah. So there's so much riding on me maintaining my job.
100, yeah, right.
And
Pressure.
I mean, health insurance, the whole 9 yards.
Your life rides on it.
My wife is my sugar mama. I kid you not. She puts me to shame when it comes to money. But I can't walk away from my job and just chase some sort of crazy thing because that would be irresponsible. We've worked hard to get to this point. But so I'm taking my risk in a different way. So when they go to bed, when you guys leave today, I'll be sitting right here at this computer and I will be cranking out stuff that no one else is doing.
Yeah.
Right. And that's my risk. I'm doing things, I've always done things differently than everyone else. So I'll be doing things that no one else is doing. So maybe the risk that you or whoever has to take.
Especially you.
We're talking to you, audience.
You.
We're on
Meta.
Facebook Live right now,
Meta,
but
meta,
we're
meta,
also
meta.
talking
if you're listening
to
at
the
this
audio
later.
audience.
Yes.
You.
Yes. So, I mean, don't be afraid to take a risk, but also calculate that risk ahead of time. You remember when we used to do parkour, we took risks all the time, but we never took a dumb risk.
100%.
We always calculated that
I was
shit.
one of the
for that
more.
one time.
I was yeah, right. Stupid. One broken neck later. But no, 100%. Like even in parkour, for me, especially me, I was very like I do not like just hucking it at all. And with so here's the interesting thing with risk and business and whatever projects you're going on, there is risk in money and then there's risk in time. So it's because when you're starting out as whatever you're doing, you have essentially two factors to play with, which is money and time. A lot of people that don't have my business coach calls the traditional entrepreneur when you have enough money for 10 years of startup costs. That's your traditional. So non-traditional entrepreneurs who don't have money, time is what you invest. Time, you are staying up at night doing this stuff, taking maybe some time away from Dara at night and building
time away from sleep, but good call.
Yeah, sleep, sure.
Yeah.
But again, like, oh, by the way, sleep, if you want to do something interesting and important in this world, you can sleep later.
Yeah, no, for sure. I work at a coffee shop, so come see me at Quintessential Coffee, and we'll hook you up with some fucking fuel to stay
And if
awake.
the coffee's not enough, I got a meth dealer. He lives right up the road.
That's my side hustle.
That's side hustle.
One and the same. I didn't
Yeah.
recognize you without the bandana. Over
I
your
know,
face.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy.
But no, like if you're wanting to make something to further this world or to make yourself happy, you have to be able to commit something of your life to it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you're not pouring something of yourself into
Right.
it, it's not worth it. I mean, okay, so I'm doing this show called Writing Tips, and it's both videos and podcasts, and a little short form, long form, the whole 9 yards. And it's designed to help writers learn how to get over their bullshit and get shit done.
Yeah.
Right.
Love that.
And that's one of the biggest things I see. So I'm in a lot of groups, I'm in a lot of forums and things like that, and I see this so much. It's so many people that are bitching left and right about, oh, it's so hard to write, and I run into writer's block, and I'm like, pull up your big boy pants.
exactly.
Yeah, just stop taking your antidepressants.
Go
it's not
out
that
for
hard.
a walk and write. And I mean, like, it's one of those things to where if you're not willing to push forward, if you're not willing to say, okay, I'm not going to let this thing get in my way, this writer's block or this, I don't know what to write next.
Just
I have no idea.
start.
Just do it. Just
start.
and do it.
I found anytime that I end up in that kind of like writer's block scenario where it's like there was a couple year period where I was just like, oh, I can't write. And then it's just like, fuck it. But now it's like every day I try to spend at least 10 to 15 minutes writing anything.
I got
And-
super tricks for you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking to the right guy.
Oh, thank Christ. So
dude.
stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm like,
Let's
I'm
make sure we cover that.
Yeah.
I'm 4 books in. I'm
Okay.
working on 5 and 6.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I love
A
it.
bit of a writer.
Love it.
Bit of a writer.
I'm at the end of my reading list now. I've got like 3 books left of
You can read or you can listen.
How much?
Porque no los dos.
Brian is so invested in being a writer that your Facebook name has the word author in it.
Yeah, it has to.
But no, you got to commit at that level.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You absolutely do.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Absolutely meta.
I was about to say that. So good.
Be faster, Noah.
Hey, this is Noah. We got more of the Unfinished Degree coming up right after this.
But as far as my own personal language, you should read my books.
All right. I'm into it.
I think this new book that I'm writing, in the first 2 sentences, I dropped the F-bomb twice.
My style.
I like it.
Because I'm
Fuck
writing
yeah.
in my own voice.
Yeah.
And I think that's you know what? That's another
Let's
thing.
talk
that
about
It's
that.
honest writing.
Authenticity.
Whether it's writing or whether it's filmmaking or whether it's doing what you're doing, you have to do stuff in your own voice. Because I mean, okay, so it's hard to find your voice in the very beginning. That's what I'll speak from authors. That's what a lot of authors struggle with. I'll speak from athletes that are in the fluid arts. That it's hard to find your voice in the beginning because you're just learning, right? You're trying to grapple with everything. But at a
Getting a vocabulary down.
yeah, exactly. But at a certain point, you just kind of have to go, fuck you, not you.
Yeah.
You're cool. You have to just say, you know what? I'm gonna put myself out there. And so like so here's a perfect example. I love my wife dearly. Let me preface that. She is the most amazing human being that has ever existed in all. Jesus Christ. Like if Jesus Christ had boobs, that would be my wife.
Dara is awesome.
That is the
Yes,
podcast.
yes.
Knowing them,
If Jesus had boobs.
But so we had a conversation the other night, and I'm talking about, we're talking about how I'm promoting my book, and I'm
Right.
like, this is the best fucking book ever, man. You got to read this shit right now. The best book ever written. And she's like, I don't know if I would say that because that's, somebody might not think that. And I'm like, my boss, Tom Shane, doesn't say our diamonds are all right.
good.
They're pretty good. Snowman films, pretty good.
Yeah, it's all right. Pepsi, it's okay.
I agree with
Amazon?
that, though. Coke is better.
Yeah, no, I am firmly on that one.
But
Don't
if
mistake
you
me.
don't believe in your product,
100%.
Okay,
your voice is your product.
Hang on. Here's a little known fact, and don't ask me to do this because I'm so the fuck out of practice. A long time ago, I used to freestyle rap. Right?
Do it. Freestyle
No,
rap the
it's
rest
not-
of this story.
It's not fucking happening, right? It's not. I converted it to prose. We're in prose now.
All right.
Means write books. That's what we do.
2019.
Anyway, but there used to be a saying, if you don't like the sound of your own rhymes, you shouldn't be recording. And so it goes the same with whether you're putting a piece of pencil to paper, whether you are throwing up with cans, whether you are doing podcasts, whether you are making films, whether you are measuring the size of people's dicks in comparison to Pringle cans.
That
Meta.
is my other job.
But it doesn't matter what you do. If you are not comfortable with what is coming out of you, then A, you don't need to be putting it down, and B, you need to get back to the lab
Yeah.
and start working.
Practice more.
It's like if you have a bad diet, you shit and it's horrible and it's a horrible experience. And
Always an emergency.
you hate it. It's burning and terrible and you get Ring of Fire. And it's like, oh, I should probably just like eat better and be a little more true to myself and listen to my body on this one.
Did you really just relate that to Johnny Cash?
Yeah.
It was a mixture of Johnny Cash and Louis C.K.
Listen, I had Taco Bell today, so that means I hurt myself.
Yeah, that was not
So yeah, but I mean, I think that the final step in that entire conversation of being you, going out and getting it and doing it and believing in what you do is get up off your ass, put down the video game controller, and go fucking do it.
Yeah.
That brings me into our next topic, the hustle culture. And I got a bone to pick with it, and at the same time, I think it's awesome, but not for the way that everybody thinks it's
Grab
awesome.
your popcorn, people.
Get your popcorn because I'm about to step up on my fucking soapbox.
Yeah, I'm going to turn off my mic so I just can listen.
Yeah.
To this.
Okay. So the hustle culture. For those of you that don't know, your Facebook has been completely inundated with somebody saying, "Give me 37 seconds, and I will teach you how I made $10,432." in 3 days by selling this one fucking stupid product. Or you will have somebody like Gary Vee, love Gary Vee, still watch him every day. You have people like Gary Vee saying you have to just put out fucking shit tons of content and you have to be on the go all the goddamn time, hustle, 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 hustle.
18 hours a day, 20 hours a day for 30 years.
Okay, so let me first say that it is easy for Gary Vee to say 18 hours a day, 30 hours a day, because Gary Vee does not have to worry about paying his fucking mortgage.
Yeah.
Right? Gary Vee talks into his phone and has like 3 fucking assistants to post his shit for him.
It's, I think, total content consumer. I think he has
Right.
like a 12-person social media team.
Exactly. Okay.
It's not just him, which is very important.
Yeah, that's very important. And then you see these people and they're hustling so hard, but they're hustling to be fucking busy. And they're not hustling to be productive. It's one thing to sit down and do a 12-hour fucking edit. You know that pain, right? It's one thing to sit down and do a 12-hour edit or go for a 12-hour writing session or an audio at it to where you're actually being fucking productive. But this, I've got this 5-minute meeting with this guy over here, and then I got to fucking text this dude over here, and then I got to do this shit over here. What's the dude with the red hair who makes fun of everything?
Carrot Top.
No, not fucking Carrot Top. Anyway,
My ex-girlfriend.
but okay, so the hustle culture has completely permeated people in the mid 20s to mid 30s. Absolutely, it's everywhere.
Oh, not me.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, you're the exception.
You know what? Hey, listen. I was in it for a long time. I bought the Gary V hustle shirt.
Right,
hustle
right.
mode on. 100%.
And there's nothing wrong with hustling to get shit done.
Yep.
But you cannot maintain that pace and expect to
be healthy.
I was going to say it's a high burnout rate.
When was the last time you saw Gary V's wife?
I mean, she's never in the content.
When was the last time you saw Gary V sitting down, chilling out, having ice cream with his kid?
Right.
Are they okay?
It doesn't matter.
He does say that it's kind of that's the agreement that they have, but I agree. It is
what kind of fucking
level
agreement is
the
that?
level of
I'm going to be an
work.
absentee father and husband.
That was actually something that because I was on the hustle mentality for a while. Like I was a big fan. I was like, oh, hustle. I mean, still sometimes when I get up at 5 a.m. I'm in the grind mode. I'm in like hustle mode. But what I like, and this is kind of bringing in another person with a different perspective, is Chase Jarvis, photographer, another influencer. He talks about building balance into your life and having it's not just the hustle when it's productive time. Like today I'm a little tired right now because I had 2 meetings in the morning, a shoot, errands.
But you're running a fucking business.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, exactly. I'm hustling on stuff that moves the business forward, not just to be a hustler.
You're right. You're not hustling to be busy. Right? You're not hustling for the title. You're hustling
100%.
because you fucking own a business.
100%.
To get shit done. Right. So okay, so I've got a major beef with the hustle culture right now, and I bought into it myself for a little bit until I realized that it was just not going to work, right? It's not going to fly. You can't maintain that, right? So if you're in it like Noah is, to where you're running a business, or you're in it like me, to where you're working a 9 to 5, spending family time, then coming down here working till late at night to get some shit
and you're
done.
hustling on that,
right? I'm hustling, but I'm hustling for a product. I'm actually doing something with it,
moving forward for the sake of that.
But here's where I love the hustle culture. And here's going to be a little bit of fortune telling. And you're going to come back and you're going to listen to this in like 3 years. And you're going to be like,
I will never listen to this. But
fuck, he was right, dude. Okay, every other fucking paid post in my Facebook feed is somebody telling me about hustle this.
Right.
I got this $1 million plan here. I got this fucking $1 million plan there. I can teach you how to fucking achieve a gajillion goddamn dollars in 30 days if you just buy my plan, right? It's inundated. The market is saturated with people like that, right? Same thing that we saw happen to the housing market a ways back. It's blowing up.
Bitcoin.
And eventually it's going to pop. And when it pops, here's who's going to come out on top. Those of us that actually have wisdom. Okay, so for example, things go in trends in life. And as you get older, you'll start to really see trends, right? Because when you see a trend start, fade, go away, disappear, and then come back, you'll know you're old.
yeah, it happens in porn all the time. It's like
Right.
bush, no bush, anal, no anal, foot jobs, whatever. Like it's just woo.
This guy.
I love it.
But you'll notice. So people like Noah and I who are producing content, people that are actually producing productive, healthy. Here's how you do this content for free. Just like, hey, I'm not just gonna get in front of a camera and tell you about how awesome my day was and how I went and shot this and how I did that. No, I'm actually going to teach you something, and I'm not going to charge you a goddamn dime
When
for
you
it.
have the intent, this is meta.
Meta.
When you have
Taylor,
the
you better be
intent-
fucking
And this
drinking.
is the last episode of our podcast. It was
Everybody
too
will be
meta.
dead of alcohol poisoning.
We killed all our.
When you have the intent of providing value with everything you do and you put out, not just, oh, hey, look, I'm in a meeting, or hey, whatever. It's this is something that I'm very keen on is get you as a listener, you as the viewer, getting something out of this you can use in your own life every single time, whether it's paid or not.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
Oh, you're the guest, please.
No, I was just gonna say I don't want you to fucking listen to my shit unless you want to learn.
Right,
Unless you're trying to find a way to distill a concept to pass it on to someone else.
Yeah.
Like,
Because that's the
period.
stuff that I listen to. The stuff that when I use my time to do something other than what moves my company, but everything I do moves my company forward. If it's something that I want to work on, my time is spent either providing value to my clients and my friends and my family, or getting value for myself so that I can become better as a person, as a creator.
Yeah.
That's where, when I'm awake, it's not how little you sleep. It's what you do while you're awake.
Oh, bingo. Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. But here's the thing, like,
Hey, friends, we've got more of the Unfinished Degree coming up. Stay tuned. That sounded threatening.
The underlying theme is Evan makes new friends.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you didn't fuck that up.
Yeah, Evan needs validation.
What do you got?
But I'm going to skip a couple of these things and circle back to them because I do want to keep talking about, so with your books and your audiobooks, you've mentioned that a few times, and I think the next thing on here is like, what are you excited about? Obviously, you're fucking excited about these. This is something you're passionate about and you are currently doing. And you said you've written 4 and you're working on the next 2?
Yeah. So I do 2 things. I do fiction.
Yes.
And I do an autobiographical piece right now.
Okay.
The autobiographical piece, by the way, let's take a step back. When I produce these stories, these books, you can wait until I'm done with one book, and then you can binge it, or you can follow along chapter by chapter because I release chapters every week.
Okay.
Episodic book. I love it.
It's definitely episodic, and they have for those of you that don't know, they have a theatrical soundtrack, sound effects. They're the real deal.
And that you do all of.
I do all the narration. Yes.
Okay.
Right here, by the way, we're going to cut to a preview of what that sounds like. Listen in.
Anyway, so now that we're back,
We're not doing that.
but so the books are yes, they're my passion because I've been writing this fiction story actually on paper for the better part of 6 years.
Okay.
I've been producing the audio in podcast format and in audiobook format for the better part of 3.5 years now.
Okay.
And we're through, so it's, the fiction piece is called 12 Blackened Petals. So that's 12, the number 12, blackened, like blackened fish tacos. And then petals like flowers.
Okay.
And
Taco flowers.
taco flowers. Think about that.
12, so count them, 11.
A dozen taco flowers.
The story is actually really, really awesome. So it follows this guy named Sam. And Sam has just been through a fucking shit life. Shit life. Like, super abusive parents, fucking hates everybody, has kind of like this alternate personality that he hides deep inside. And through an interesting turn of events, he winds up becoming a god. And it's through this flower, right? So he bonds with this flower, and every time he dies, one petal will wilt off of this flower. It'll turn black and wilt off of the flower, and it'll bring him back to life. But when it does so, it brings him back at twice the maximum potential of what he was before.
Oh, shit.
Let's put that into perspective. Okay. The maximum potential. So as humans, let's just talk strength, strength, right? As humans, the strongest person that has ever been measured lifted 5,000 pounds. So his first ascension, he comes back and he can lift 10. Like nothing. Like,
see, I was trying to put that on my own level, where it's like I could bicep curl maybe 5 pounds, so the next time I could do 10.
Right,
exactly.
Right.
Oh,
but
shit.
So and it's an exponential process, right? So the first time it's double, the second time is double that, the third time is double that. So it's like a penny every day that that doubles every day.
Yeah.
But it's not just the good shit; it's the bad shit too. So like the anger, the emotion, the frustration, the feelings of pain, all that is doubled.
It's
right?
so ramped up that at a point it just becomes absolute.
Oh, it's fucking nuts, right? So the first book covers a 48-hour period. And in that first book, he dies 3 times.
Okay.
Kills hundreds of people with his bare hands, gets into a fist fight with an angel, pisses off the American military, unleashes a murderous demon on the world, and accepts the job of becoming the one and only God Almighty.
And that is book 1.
That's book 1.
Real quick, I need this book.
I thought you might.
There are 5 books in that timeline.
Okay.
Now, here's where it gets really crazy. Okay, so there's a main timeline that follows this guy named Sam through all of his shit, right? And the main timeline basically goes Sam in a city, Sam of a planet, Sam of a galaxy.
Okay.
Right? Everything's contained in the galaxy.
Yeah.
But there are also side stories that come off, right? So there are things that happen that are ramifications of Sam's actions. So, for example, as we transition from book 2 into book 3, we're learning about a group called, or a couple called Jack and Jill, right? And it's called The Tale of Jack and Jill. And this is one of the side stories. In book 2, this is no spoilers, in book 2, there's this really nasty fucking disease that's released on the planet. And it kills like billions of people.
Okay.
Like no joke. In a matter of 3 months, kills billions of people. Fucks the world up.
Zombie movie.
Dude, sort of.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's a great fucking story. So there's 5 books total in the main timeline. There's 10 side stories. So I got my work cut out for me.
Yeah.
But you can listen to all 4 books right now.
Okay.
For free.
Okay.
Yes.
Where?
So anywhere you get podcasts.
Okay.
And anywhere you get podcasts.
Perfect.
Anywhere.
But not here. Not here.
You get podcasts.
That is meta.
For free.
Now, do you have the hard copies of the books published or self-published or?
He's grabbing it right now. There it is.
That is
That's
pretty.
a author copy.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Yeah, this is book 2.
Okay.
But yeah, so the way it works is I write a couple chapters.
Yeah.
And then I record it, produce the audio,
Yeah.
release it for people to listen to, and my fans are fucking ravenous, dude. Like,
Yeah.
if I miss an hour,
They send you hate mail.
I start getting emails. No shit.
That's
Nice.
No
crazy.
shit. Did I miss it? Where the fuck is it?
I wish literally anybody cared about me that much. Anybody.
I want to
Anybody.
talk about
Mom.
that though.
Yeah.
If you had, is there more on this? Because I'm interested. So we have the kind of the story, the artistic side. The other side of this podcast that I'm super interested in is the, as Evan was saying, the actionable, tactical. With the book, with creating something completely new, how has the process been of building that audience? What advice? What kind of talk to us about that process?
Stick a shotgun in your mouth and pull the fucking trigger.
Oh, calm down, Hemingway.
No, it's that was good. That was good. No, so that's been my biggest difficulty.
Right.
So if I can get you, I keep you. No question about it. No question about it. But it's hard to penetrate through the noise. So write the book. Write the audio. Produce the audio.
Do the work first.
Do the work, right? So the work is there, the work is out there, you're doing it. The hardest part about fucking writing a book is not writing the fucking book. It's marketing.
Yeah.
It's marketing all day.
I always say in the video world, especially for new clients that I'm talking to or artists in general, when you hit upload, you're half done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Essentially.
Oh, yeah, except with this podcast, I'm going to hit upload and I'm just fucking done.
That's why the Snowman team takes it.
Yeah, I don't.
But I'm serious. Like
give a shit.
you getting it out, making it is half the battle. Getting it out in front of people, that is the other half. Of
Oh,
the battle.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's absolutely the worst thing ever. So, and also it is a marathon and not a sprint.
Oh my God, yes.
I learned that the hard way. Occasionally you'll see me online and I'll just fucking vent for a second and be like, fuck, can't get fucking listen to my fucking shit.
I do see that.
Fuck. But the truth of the matter is it is a slow growing process, and I know that.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated because there is this fucking phenomenal thing, and I'm not talking like, oh look, I drew this picture of this guy, his teeth are crooked. No, I mean like this is the real deal. This is some real shit, and it is night and day different than what anyone else is doing or the way that they're delivering stories. And so if I can get people to tune in, I've got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First chapter, you're mine. I fucking got you. But
Challenge accepted.
it's not a challenge. Not for my
Promise
end.
accepted.
Yeah.
Promise.
But the hardest part is getting those eyes on that because once again, let's go back to the hustle culture and your timeline being completely inundated with bullshit.
Right.
Because your timeline on any social media platform is inundated with bullshit, no one wants to see the shining star hanging out amidst the bunch of turds.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that's the hardest thing. Right. And I mean, I've tried so many different fucking things, man. I've tried like business cards. That doesn't fucking work. That's dead technology. I'm just gonna say that right now.
From my perspective, I've done a lot of leads groups in terms of building the business. Business cards is something that is nice to give someone. One time in, let's call it 500 business cards, have I gotten a call from somebody off of the
Exactly.
business card. I always call them, which is fine with me because I'm actually getting in contact with them. But when you get business cards, think about it's setting your money on fire because that's what it is.
I mean, essentially, like it's so just.
It's accepted by the kind of
You're supposed to do it,
right. It's like,
But it
oh, do you have a
doesn't do a
card? When
goddamn
you
thing
say
for you.
no, they're like, what? What I should start doing is they say, do you have a card? I'll go, nope. Can I take yours?
Yeah, there you go.
Because that's what it's gonna. Because it's guaranteed. Guess who's calling? Me.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be you calling. So
Don't expect. That's actually here. Big thing. Don't ever expect anybody to call you or get in touch with you. If you are not willing to get in touch with them, and get in touch with them 5 times, you're not following up correctly.
Oh, exactly. You know, and I mean, I think, what was it? I think it takes like 10 to 20 exposures
yeah,
for someone
at least 8.
to indulge in your content. Even if it's free, you
gotta
and
go
even
hard.
if it's a value, right? And we live in such a fucked up world.
I was gonna say these odds though sound better than like dating.
Technically, they are.
Yeah,
I mean,
was
you
gonna
got
say,
apps for
man.
dating now, though,
Yeah,
right?
trust me, I'm on them. But
Me and my wife got together right before Tinder came out, so I literally have 0 experience with any dating apps.
my girlfriend just left me a couple months ago, so that's where I'm at.
Ladies,
you, Evan.
ladies,
He's
ladies.
single.
He's single.
He's single.
Ladies, I hope you like dudes who have a Star Wars collection and eat ass.
That's his Tinder profile.
It is.
You know, that's got a dreamsicle taste to it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, the issue is getting in front of people,
Right.
And the hardest part. Here's the fucking part that just makes you want to just really pick up a baseball bat and go down your timeline and just start beating people with it.
Mm-hmm.
The only way that your information gets seen on any social media platform is these 2 ways. Number 1, you pay for it to be seen.
Yep.
Or number 2, enough people like it and share it that it gains traction.
Right.
None of your fucking friends are going to share your shit. Period.
I can vouch. 100%.
Period.
Yeah, I know. And even when you try to share shareable stuff, it takes a long time, and that's why the grind. That's why the marathon mentality of this is the big picture. Eventually, you'll get your occasional shares, and if you can build an audience, it's a long, hard process, just like the dicks we were talking about.
Oh, it is. And you know, the worst part about it.
Meta.
The worst part about it is that just completely broke my train of thought here.
I gotta just really say I hate this show.
Okay,
I
so
love it.
you know, I mean, the thing is indifference. Indifference is what we battle with.
Right.
It goes back to that conversation about getting people. 100%. The entire world has become indifferent. If you have one of these fucking things in your hand, and I'm holding up a cell phone for those of you that are listening, if you have one of these fucking things in your hand when you are doing the slide up, more than likely you are indifferent.
Right.
And that is the most horrid thing. Take a second.
Yeah.
Stop scrolling through your fucking phone. Check out your homie's content. Listen to your buddy's rap song. Listen to your friend's story. Check out the beat. Watch
I'll listen
the
to your
slow
I'll listen to your
fucking
story.
film.
I'm so sorry.
It's long. It takes a while, man. If you started listening right now, I shit you not, you would listen for 62 hours straight before you'd be done. And I produce 20 new minutes a week.
Damn.
I gotta run a business.
I know, right?
See, that's
hard.
different though. You're doing the hustle to get
but
shit done, but apathy
I'm
is the
not
silent
marketing
killer.
to you.
Right.
That's the thing.
You're marketing
so here's
to
the thing.
me.
Here's
This
the
guy
other
right
side of
over
it.
here.
Right. Here's the other side of it. For me, I'm not a recreational reader. He is.
I'm not convinced Noah can read.
I'm actually illiterate.
What does this beer can say?
It says purple.
I can read the alcohol content. That's about all that's important to me. No, I'm kidding.
Oh boy, this man writes paychecks.
I don't know what they say, but I write them.
The fuck is a paycheck?
That's why there's always like question marks and scribbles.
Venmo has numbers.
Like a year ago, I used to get paychecks. I don't even know what the fuck happens to them now, man.
Yeah, they just
man.
poof gone, and they become stars.
I don't even see them anymore. I remember when you used to actually get a paycheck and you
right,
saw
physical.
and you went and cashed the paycheck. Then you got the cash and you were like, "I'll keep this much and I'll put this much in the." Now it's just like,
I'm okay with this. This tangent is great because I agree. It's literally there are numbers on a screen
and then they're gone.
and then they're gone, and that's all that money is.
Trust
and
me.
you're like, "What the fuck happened to the past 40 hours of my week?" You know?
Like I'm bad.
Why am I doing this again?
I
For
looked
those
at my
numbers?
bank account today and I just know, minus sign in front of the number, bad. And that's where I'm at.
I'll be honest with you. Biggie had it right. More money, more problems. Except
different problem.
More money, more options to solve some problems.
Exactly. I think that's where that statement goes after that. So more money, more problems, right? Until you get to,
Less money, less options.
Until you get to fuck it money.
Yeah.
Here's the biggest issue, right? And I know we're getting all fucking money shit here.
No, I love it. We're covering
no.
so many subjects. It's great.
Okay, so you may even be able to make 2 podcasts out of this.
seriously.
Don't get cocky.
I don't get cocky.
He is cocky.
I am cocky.
Pringles can.
True.
Bigger.
So here's the crazy thing. Every amount of money that you make in this country, whether it is freelance, whether it is salary, whether it's hourly, is based upon one thing: the minimum wage. It doesn't matter what any politician says. Every measurement of amount, so I make X amount of dollars per hour because I'm this skilled. That X amount of dollars per hour is weighed against the minimum wage.
Right.
Yep.
So what I make currently is sitting pretty good against the minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
But the minimum wage is shit, right?
Yeah.
Here's the bad thing about our country, and we all know this is how this happens. For those of you that are out of the country,
The
we're in
only
fucking
one
America,
bad
it's
thing about America. One. Just one.
Well, just one.
Just one.
When the minimum wage
fuck
goes
us
up,
right now.
the rest of the wages will not.
Yeah.
So, for example, the difference between someone working a minimum wage job now and someone working an entry level corporate job right now, right? That pay gap, right? When the minimum wage goes up, because eventually it's going to have to or bust.
Yeah.
There's no question. Eventually it's going to have to. So the next step naturally is 15,
Yeah.
right? When it goes up to 15, that will be the pay gap between minimum wage and what I make now as a professional.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Right? So
That everything doesn't go up.
everything
Yeah.
doesn't go up. It should.
Right.
But it
Yeah,
doesn't.
so it should
No.
work.
Right? So just a word of warning for all of you listeners and you young folks there. Start stacking fucking Benjamins right now. Stack it.
I have stacked a lot of Washingtons.
But here's the thing.
What's a savings account?
I don't know.
I know it's hard,
I just
right?
don't want to
Because
sound dumb.
like 80% of America lives paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
80 fucking percent of America lives paycheck
I know,
to
I do.
paycheck. This is not sustainable.
No.
Right. So something's gonna have to change. I'm not getting political. I don't fucking know what it is. I'm just saying for the record. and
Complicated answer, but something needs to change.
something needs to change.
And we're going to get into it because we have the answers right here.
What?
What?
That's what we lead with in the intro, and then we're never gonna
We have cracked the fucking code.
on how to make money.
I don't know.
Give
what
me
it
32
was.
seconds and I will sell you this great plan.
Listen to the end.
I'm going to treat you like a magic 8 ball.
Next question.
Will I find love?
I said next question.
Oh my god. Do my pets like me?
My child doesn't even like me.
Oh yeah, better. She clearly has some animosity there. Yeah. So we've talked about, your creative process with the writing and doing all the composing and shit. Like, one, I am incredibly envious of that. That is not envious. That's a unflattering word to say. I am impressed by that, where it's something that I really enjoy and just don't do. So I like to meet people that do things.
You need a mentor? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Will you be the Obi-Wan to my Luke Skywalker?
I'll be the Obi-Wan to your Darth Vader.
That is
I
probably
will
more
cut your
apt.
fucking arms
Yeah, I was
off.
gonna say, leave me
leave you in the
limbless and
lava to
screaming.
burn.
I
Which
do
is
practice
kind
my
of
I hate yous in the mirror.
kind of what a good mentor does sometimes.
Yeah.
No, but yeah.
Okay, cool. So we talked about that, and it's just kind of wanting to ask just some, of course, broad questions of, what are some of the projects that you are most proud of that you've done, and why?
I'm actually pretty proud of a lot of shit I've done in my corporate job.
Yeah.
I got some beautiful fucking work out there. I got some shit I got to show you before you leave, Noah.
Please, yes.
Yeah, it'll fuck your brain up. You'll love it.
Is it public or is it internal?
It's internal currently, so I can
Gotcha.
show it to you, but you can't share it out.
No worries, guys. When it goes public, we'll probably have forgotten about this, so good luck.
Next
Yes.
week, Star Wars Episode 9 and Avengers Endgame spoilers.
I would have to say honestly, it's my project in process.
Yeah.
Both of my projects in process. So 12 Black and Petals, and all of its little side stories, and then my other book that I'm writing, my autobiography / gospel, which is called God Wasn't There, and it's fucking badass.
I like it. And then, so that kind of ties in, I imagine then you are excited about your autobiographical stuff.
Yeah.
Where I was going to ask, what are you most excited for currently, not only professionally, but like personally? Like what's exciting for you right now?
In all honesty, so when this is going to go back into that story, right? But
Yeah.
when I first started working on 12 Black and Petals, my goal was to make it a graphic novel.
Yeah.
I didn't have the fucking chops. Like I'm just not going to blow smoke up anybody. I didn't have the chops.
It's a hard thing to do.
It's fucking monumentally hard.
Yeah.
And I'm a one man show, right? So here we are 6 years later, and in the past 2 days, I discovered a way to deliver a product that is very similar to a graphic novel, in in a relatively rapid fashion.
Okay.
Which and since I already have, fucking 4 books written, working on 5 and 6, it's easy to follow through with the story because I'm not trying to create a graphic novel as I write a story. I have a story that is fucking set in stone.
Yeah.
Now I just have to go back and pick these images and do cool shit with them.
Absolutely.
And they're fucking phenomenal. I'll share one out, right?
Yeah.
I'll give it to you so you can share it
Preview,
out.
definitely.
A preview, like a loose in preview, because we're still in like figure it out phase. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And then when you go into my real world life, like day to day, I'm excited that my little fucking daughter is turning into a young lady, dude. She's
Rico's amazing.
Dude, she's fucking stupid smart,
She's
man.
so smart. Yeah, it's crazy.
So fucking smart and like sassy.
She got the personality, which thank God it's a personality. She's awesome.
I commented on how soft the little puppy was. She's like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Of course, this fucking puppy's soft.
Yeah,
I picked it. Duh.
You can't fucking sell them to China and you can't throw them out the window, so you deal with this ass. But yeah, no. I mean, like, I'm actually at a good point in my life, so yeah.
Right on, dude. That is, I like hearing that.
I need more money.
Yeah, well,
12 black and pedals.
yeah, what? Yeah, you need more money so you can give me 100K so I
12
can figure
black
out
pedals.
just how great it
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
12 black and pedals.
For him.
Meta, 12 black and pedals.
12 black, not 11, not 13, 12.
No, 12. Very important.
Blackened, not whitened.
Yeah, 11 makes
Opposite
you
of how
fucking
you want
badass.
teeth.
Yeah.
So like charcoal tooth.
Every time we say 12 black and pedals, you need to go buy 12 black and pedals, or at
Just
least
go listen.
Listen.
Just go listen.
Yeah,
Listen.
you're buying.
Here's the model I'm
It's
working
free.
off with that. The reason it's free is because I'm working off of this model. When you do podcasts, in the podcast world, it's about numbers of listeners, right? Numbers of listeners influence everything. It influences where you wind up on iTunes charts, whatever. It also influences who wants to advertise on your show.
Right.
And you can sell those spaces for very expensive. Now, I don't want to shit can my free model. So in order to do that, I need to have massive amounts of listeners in order to advertise, to have advertiser space. And that's just kind of what I've been working towards. Noah's yawning like a bitch.
2 beers, man.
Two beers.
Oh, I have 2 young children and a company that I run, and I had meetings all day, and then I had 2 beers, and it's after 9.
Actually, after 9 is pretty significant.
It is, man.
When you get up at 5, 9 is a 5, 7, 8, 9, 16-hour day is what we're dealing with.
So we're going to be wrapping this podcast up really shortly because Noah's either going to pass out or,
I still got to drive home.
He's going to be like, that's very...
Okay, last question. Speed round.
Speed round. All right. The end. I'm just kidding.
I like it how the guest guides the podcast.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
that's absolutely. This is my way of being lazy, where it's like, oh, we got a podcast. You want to be the guest? Okay.
See,
and
you
then
thought
keep me
you
going.
thought it was because we wanted to talk to you. It's actually because you have 200 more episodes than we do on this
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. No, I
Time of death. No.
Yeah, actually, it's been a blast. I mean, we could do this again, and we should.
I would love to.
There will be a part 2
I would
for
love to.
sure.
Yeah, because we could go on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is the exit interview.
This
now.
is
Like,
this
will-
this is
will
this
you
is
be my
funny that
friend?
the guest is actually guiding this along here.
Yeah.
I love
So
Haha, that was on purpose.
Evan, do your job.
I'm bad at it. But
I'm in danger.
yeah. No, I do really appreciate you for taking time out of your what
Seriously.
sounds like an incredibly busy professional, personal, and also continuing to be professional.
y'all were paying for this interview, right?
In beer.
Yeah, you got 2 beers. It's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Seriously, thank you so much, and taking time out, and especially being the first guest on this has been huge. It means so much to me because we have so much history, and
Somebody had to pop your fucking cherries.
yeah. Oh man,
so
I'll
glad
have
it
you
was
pop my
you.
cherry any day.
I just love that you're not a redhead, that like you're not cheating on me. Okay, but like,
he
no.
is a
See,
redhead.
but that's red.
He has
That's
red
not,
highlights
like,
in his hair.
Amber.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
there
not
you
a
go.
ginger. Like, fuck.
Had the both Amber and Ginger.
We're gonna have a straight ginger on the show at some point, and Evan's just gonna have to deal with it.
All these years later. Anyway, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah.
Where do you want people to connect
Sure,
with you?
yeah. So I trust that my hosts are going to put this in the show notes.
course.
Oh God, no.
But so you can actually find me all over the damn place if you search this 12, like the number 12, 1, 2, 12 blackened pedals. And that's PETALS. If you just Google that shit, I'm everywhere. I literally dominate the first 3 pages.
Google it.
Google it. So you can find that anywhere you find podcasts. Those are for free. Anywhere you find podcasts, you can also find my autobiography / gospel, and it explains it in the first chapter. You can find that. It's called God Wasn't There. You can find me on Facebook as Brian Taylor Author, or you can come and check out Brian M. Taylor, and that's spelled with an I, Brian. Anybody that spells it with a Y, fuck you, you're going to hell.
You heard it here
Friends
first.
that spell it like that.
To all my Brian's out there with a Y, fuck you.
But yeah, it's just Brian Taylor Author or Brian M. Taylor. Both of those go to my shit. And if you're a writer, if you're an aspiring writer, you can always find me on Writing Hacks. So you can check out getwritingtips.com, or you can look up Writing Hacks for the Real World on Facebook, and you can find out all kinds of cool stuff there. I've got YouTube page. I'm,
He's
the
everywhere.
socials. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, perfect. All
So
right.
for us, before we wrap up, we got to do some promo. Snowman Films. Yeah, of course. see, this is where the company comes in. Evans, the
Gotta pay the
worker. And I
bills.
am like, here we go.
Gotta pay the bills.
Just got a couple things going on all of the socials as well: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Snowman Films has 2 weekly video shows. One is called Crafting Creativity. The other is called a Content Marketing Minute. And they pretty much go into what you think they're going to go into. We talk about creativity. We talk about mindset stuff for crafting creativity. And then for a Content Marketing Minute, it is actionable, tactical tips for entrepreneurs to make better video content yourself with your phone, with whatever you're shooting with. And we just want to help you out on the journey.
And then you can find me on only Instagram at Mile High Ground, and you can watch me have a emotional breakdown in slow motion as I collect Star Wars action figures and get left by every woman I ever love. So
In slow motion.
yeah, in slow motion, it's great.
60 to 120 FPS.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, Brian. Any final thoughts, message you want to leave with the listeners? Other than fuck people named Brian with a Y.
No, yeah. I think like if I had to say this to a room of people on the way out the door, you're more powerful than you can imagine. All you have to do is put your mind to it. You've been given, as far as we know, the most heightened tool in the universe, and all you have to do is put it to work. You just have to put it to work.
I like it. I appreciate it.
All right, that does it for episode 1 of The Unfinished Degree. Thank you guys so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed our chat with Brian, and we will see you guys again soon. Like, subscribe, follow, all that dumb shit. If you so choose, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, apparently. Anywhere you would like to, or wherever podcasts are found. Snowman Films presents The Unfinished Degree. All right, see you guys soon.